Ladies and gents, how are we doing? Welcome back. Long time no see. I was down with a very nasty tonsillitis, and so now we are back with it inside my head. Let's do some weird English today against the one and only Supermegajeres. That's as good as my Spanish gets, provided that this dude is Spanish. No, doesn't say anything, so it remains a guess. The idea behind bishop b4 is to play a reverse Rosalimo, actually. It is quite a complex idea, because it looks like we are playing a tempo down Sicilian with black, but that tempo is very often spent on moving the knight here. And having omitted that move means that in some structures I can play f5 first before I put the knight there. So in fact I come out on top in terms of a tempo. And I'm going to allow him to take this bishop, but in return we hope to obtain some central superiority by playing d5. So bishop g2, knight f6, and then d5 is going to come in. Although he does have d4 himself too, so we have to tread carefully there. No, he plays d3, very passive, and therefore very bad. Bishop g2 was the move I expected, stopping d5, and after knight f6, d4, fighting for the center before I can conquer it. d3 is a bad move in my opinion. Or bad is probably harsh, but definitely inaccurate. Take is another inaccuracy, because it releases tension in the center way too soon, and by trading these pawns he trades this for this, which means side central for non-central, and it also means that after the recapture now my knight can freely go to c6, which I couldn't have done if he had played bishop g2 instantly. Now the dilemma is whether I want to allow the pin or not, because I could play bishop e6, but I don't think there's anything in this pin, so I'm going to allow it. Because after bishop g5 I just play bishop e6. Whereas if I had played bishop e6 first up, then knight f3 would have hit the pawn here and would have created knight g5 as a threat. So usually there is a reason why we have principles, like knights before bishops. And the concrete cases often justify the principles. Okay, so knight c6 I expect castles. At which point I will consider playing the ugly bunny ears, doggy ears, simply because then this bishop doesn't really have a meaningful square to go to. And also I have got space advantage, and so I would like to disallow trades. The alternative is simply to castle, bishop g5, bishop e6, perhaps queen b3. It feels like his pieces make sense then, a little bit at least, so I'm going to deny bishop g5. Because now this bishop is either going to be here, which is a total waste of space, or he's going to gear up for this and put it on the long diagonal. But once again, given the looming e4, e3 threat in the absence of the bishop, this could be problematic. So yeah, so sorry guys for being away for so long, but unfortunately my throat decided to give up on me in a very ugly fashion, and so I couldn't speak for a week and a half. Couldn't work, couldn't do chess, couldn't do lessons, did nothing. Hardly existed. Okay, e4, another potential positional error, because it blocks in the bishop. The best question, well, I can play it so many ways now that I'm a little bit spoiled for choice. I'm a little bit against it on principles, but I could take and then go bishop e6, when I would celebrate this misplaced bishop for a long time to come. But again, it means simplification. I could play bishop e6 right away, and after take back with the bishop, which would mean that they have an isolated weak pawn, but then rook e1 would warrant some kind of counterplay against this pawn, maybe. Although there, rook d8, So that's an option. And my last one is to turn it into some sort of a King's Indian with d4. But then knight h4 is a bit worrisome. I don't want this knight to come in here. No. So I think bishop e6 is going to get our vote. Yeah. If he plays rook e1 now without taking, then I would definitely push it in. Because then the rook is misplaced on e1, because he wants to play for f4 in that structure. There we go. So now I've got two logical responses: take, because the rook is misplaced on the e file in case of take as well. So take, castles. We don't want rook d8 because the queen wants to go to a4 anyway. And so if I were to take and take, we want the rooks here and here. So that tempo is totally meaningless because that is also a tempo pinning the knight, hitting the pawn. So this is how people often get trapped in ideas that look very attractive at first sight, like, oh, okay, I will take and then rook d8, big fat tempo. Not really, because A, the queen wanted to go anyway, and B, a4 is a great square for it. Now that being said, take castles looks playable. Bishop e3, then rook d8, queen a4, knight d7. But I'm not a fan. I will be honest. I'm not a fan. If d4, knight h4, and now I'm almost forced to play g6 because knight f5, bishop takes, e takes would again justify the rook placement. So d4 here, g6, f4, takes, pawn takes. Now the knight is hanging, as in is in an X-ray. But yeah, I don't like that. I don't really like that. I'm thinking that after d4, knight here, what happens if I actually allow knight f5? But it seems like I'm giving a lot of unnecessary counterplay there. So castles takes, bishop takes, knight e5. He's also looking a little bit problematic because knight e5, d4. Very interesting stuff. I think I have to take this. So now I'm expecting queen a4, but maybe queen a4 is not really that great of a move and they should still go for this. But now if they go there, I can always jump in. So actually this is not an idea. So I'm guessing queen a4 is to come, and the move or the line I was looking at was rook d8, and if bishop e3, then knight g4 is annoying. Whereas if after rook d8 they waste another move like h3, yeah, that looks very sus. This looks bad. This does look bad because I can pin it, then I can come here, and then I can come to d4 when the bishop comes here, I think. So I shouldn't be jumping to conclusions, but this doesn't look right. Yeah, this is really messed up because now he just stepped into knight d4 too. So now it looks like bishop g4 is already creating a game-winning threat of knight d4. So bishop g4, bishop c3. If worst comes to worst, then I have knight d4, bishop d4, rook d4, h3, bishop takes, rook double up, and we have got a good knight, bad bishop story. But our advantage is not huge. But this move has to be correct, so we'll play it anyway. He will think in his time. Yeah, bishop c3 has to be played now. Bishop here, knight d4, bishop takes, rook takes, h3, bishop takes, rook a d1, rook a d8, rook d1. Trading too much. That's the only thing I dislike about that. Oh, hold on a second, I'm talking total nonsense. After knight d4, bishop takes, rook takes, h3, I'm picking off the e4 pawn. Oh my word. Right, okay, here we go. Sorry, my poor calculation. So remember when I said earlier on that e4 was a bit sus? Now he's really paying the price for it because this bishop is just terrible. It's really bad. Okay, so queen c2 does hang the rook now. Although, I do have yet another tempo here, which is a very juicy tempo, in fact, to pick up on that queen. Although, hang on, I don't actually, sorry, because after rook c8, knight d4, right? And if rook takes queen, knight takes rook, and yeah, that's not playable. Okay, stand corrected. So this one needs to go. Which takes us back to how much better are we really here? Rook d8, rook d1. Rook tak, rook tak. If rook tak, then yeah, it's a lot of trades, dudes. A lot of trades. Would love to do some sneaky moves like queen d7 so that after rook d8 I would have rook c8 with a tempi, but then he takes me here. And I don't have oh, actually no, because then rook takes c2, he takes my queen, knight takes, which knight needed to be relocated anyway. And this hangs. Rook e2 then, check, king up, knight c5, and knight is en route to d4. That's actually pretty sweet. So queen d7, rook d1, rook c8, perhaps queen b3. It's a better move there. And b6. Rook d4, queen d4. Rook d1. Queen c4. And again we are headed for a slightly better endgame. Let's try this, I'm curious. Oh, I didn't realize that we have got some time issues here. So now we need to speed up a bit, but I really do like this line of rook c8, rook d4, rook c2, rook takes, knight takes, and then because my biggest problem at the moment is that I need to relocate the knight. So said knight needs to be here, or at least here. So we'll have to work with that at least a little bit. Also, queen b3, b6 is very handy because it sort of begins to vacate. What am I missing here? I felt like I walked into something. Because the moves he's playing are very sus. Because he chose the wrong rook, as a result of which now after rook takes, knight takes, he doesn't have rook e2 to prevent the fall of these pawns. So now he's destined to play something like takes, takes, and b4. B4 is actually not that bad because it prevents my knight to come in from here. It's very annoying actually. Bugger. But yeah, even then it's a little bit suboptimal for white because he has to play a lot of pawn moves to free up the rook. Whereas with rook here, he could have just played rook up, and then he would have been protecting all of these pawns. Maybe after b4 I will play knight b6. If a4, knight c4. It's quite ironic how I'm constantly misstepping the correct square. Like I really want the knight here, and instead I'm sitting on the square next to it. Unfortunately, I can't do the stock standard route, I think, because after b4, knight f8, he has bishop g4. And then my knight is completely dominated by the bishop. Yeah, so I would think I have to come here. The only dilemma I'm facing is that should I play rook b2, a3 first, and then knight b6? Because then I would, if the rook were to move, I would have a double attack with rook b3 hitting the bishop and the pawn on a3. So rook here, rook d1. That, on the other hand, potentially would allow me to do that. Or even then knight b6. Yeah, let's go here. This looks good. Also note that it removes the rook from white. So tactical motives of the bishop hurting my rook is basically reduced to 0 now. I don't think he has anything else but a3 here. Any other move, like any of these, would just force me to do what I wanted to do anyway. So a3, rook b, knight b6. Okay, maybe he has got check here, rook here. But then I take, oh shoot, that's not good. Okay, didn't I just say that I wanted to play knight f8 here, and if a3 then knight e6 and I just arrived? Jeez, Louis, that was not the plan, dude. What are you doing? Okay, that was strange because I wanted to go to c4. Okay. He wants rook e7, hitting this. But at least now we can create some imbalance by taking this, forcing him to take that, and then I have 2 versus 1 here. I'm not so sure how good this is going to turn out, but we don't really have a choice. Now let's go and start pushing these dudes. I'll need to make some king moves soon to make sure that this doesn't kill me. Does he have rook f8? Ooh, it's a bit dicey. Totally missed that. Okay, I don't understand that one because I have to check. I just drop back right. Okay, let's go. Rook f8 would have been interesting with some mate nets here. Worst comes to worst, I had knight d6. But I really feel like I totally misplayed this when I forgot to play the previously planned knight f8 here. Knight f8, and if he defends the pawn, then knight e6. Rook in, knight in. Admittedly double-edged. Now his pieces are clumsy. I'm guessing he's gonna play rook c6 with the idea of bishop e6 check. Nope. Okay. I'm moving out of the check. If bishop e6, I've got knight d6. Disconnecting rook bishop. Bishop goes into d5, I go a4. Let's check. If king f6, he goes back. It's a bit annoying. Maybe I don't need to play. Okay. Well, we want to win, so we're going to now risk it. But two connected pass pawns are usually face some customers, so after takes I have check here and back here, which will keep this check in the equation as well as hanging this pawn. So let's do that, although I'm a bit reluctant to bring up his king. But now I need to do Speedy Gonzalez. This I thought I should be winning, because my pawns are further advanced. And also he has got the rook in his way, mine doesn't. Now that could be a problem. So up here, here. So we're both queening, I have got check here. Surely that would be mate somehow. Actually now after g6 I've got check, king here, take, d, queen, and then I take on f5 check. Yeah, that's it. But maybe there were more accurate ways to convert this. I just went caveman. Yeah, queen f2 check. It's gonna lead to mate, so this should be it, right? Yep, it's mate. If king up, then check, checkmate. If king up, then check, checkmate. Whew! Boy, this was hard labor. A lot harder than it should have been. A lot harder than it should have been. Alright, analysis board it is. This was quite an interesting game. Okay, so like I said, mistake. Note how 0.4 goes down to minus 0.23. Once again, I said this is mistake. Note how 0.2 goes down to minus 0.2, and I know that these are small differences, but in an opening as white, you can't afford this. Okay, so apparently he should have played bishop g5 here, but even then I'm doing fine, so I was correct in my assumption. Okay, no, h6 was a lemon. I should have. I was very, very hesitant about this, to be honest. So castles, bishop g5, and we just ignore it. Fair enough. Okay. All right. e4. I said that was bad. Look at the assessment, 0.4 to minus 0.9. This looked like an atrocious move. b4 I really like. This is such an awesome spirited move to somehow contest the center. And the idea is very simple. He just wants to utilize the power of the bishop. So if I take, then bishop a3, queen a4 check is already a game-winning threat. Beautiful. If I take with the queen a4, now I can't castle. I didn't see this, but boy oh boy, this is stunning. e4 I knew was a lemon. I played bishop e6 and it turned out bad, so I should have taken it apparently and immediately entered the structure that we had in the game. So what's wrong with bishop e6? That after take rook e1, which I did reckon with. What did I want to do here? I wanted to, I don't know, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Because I only noticed it in this line when I called out castles, that after takes 95 is problematic. So why did I not notice that here? Yeah, this is not good. So what do I... yeah, I don't want to take on f3, no way. Okay, so actually bishop e6 was a big mistake by me, allowing them to make the position and the structure very dynamic again. The bishop is well alive, the spin is frustrating. Okay. Guilty as charged, officer. I needed to do this and enjoy the stupid bishop here. I didn't like knight h4, but I'm an idiot because of course knight d4 shuts that down. Okay, so back to normality now. I told you that bishop d2 was bad, but not as bad as I thought it was, according to the computer anyway. I expected queen a4, which would have been apparently far worse according to the mighty engine. Okay, queen e2, I also labeled this one bad, but in fact it just is a logical follow-up on what we were doing. All g. Take, take. Now I overwrote here the natural move at the expense of wanting to enter this endgame scenario. g5, no way, buddy. So let's see what's wrong with what I did. Queen c5. And e5 awkwardly hangs. Fair enough. And if rook d8, then rook a d1. I mean, g5 is not utterly stupid, let's face it. It allows the king to come out here against any back rank checks, puts another pawn on black. It fatally weakens the f5 square, but white has no longer any knights available. And the bishop on f5 is just as bad as it is on f3. And occasionally this bishop runs out of breath after, or rather, after g4. Interesting. I quite like that idea, actually. The more I look at it, the more I like it. Now here he played this, and he should have gone with the other rook, if at all. And we entered this endgame. b4. Rook c4. Okay. Oh boy, this was such a no-brainer. Ah! Oh boy, how did I not see this? Ouch. Okay, that was utterly stupid. And here I thought that I had this. And I did. I did have this. And then the knight can come back. And I just, yeah, got very excited about this plan, which is probably also wrong to come here. Because I can still do this. Which is totally fine. I didn't think I could do this because of that. Yeah, I don't like this. I don't want it. What's knight b6 like here? Because I wanted to win a pawn like this, yeah? Shame on me because he's gonna get it back. Very drawish. Okay, yeah, this is where I slipped. I began to feel a little bit the time, and I wanted to play a few obvious moves without too much thinking, and that would have been this. As per, I'm always teaching, bring your king to the center. Baga. Yeah, I told you that was bad. Yeah, rook f8. Rook f8 was definitely the move, because now there are some dirty mate threats here. Like this king is really feeling itchy, or ticklish rather. So I would either have to play here knight d6 or h5. But I think it's knight d6. f4, wow. Stuff gets real here. Yeah, we misplayed this part of the endgame. And then... Good move. Well done, I'm proud of myself. Good move. I'm proud of myself. So here the idea is, and this is again a typical barrier that a lot of amateurs can't overcome, is that this is hanging. No one cares. So the point is that by taking this pawn, white has obtained 0 passed pawns. So in this position, sorry, here, he has got the same amount of passed pawns as here, which is none. And this is very clearly going to be a race, so I'm going to take this. That's inevitable. And from there on, I've got 2 connected pass pawns, which is the, as I like to say it a lot in my coaching, connected pass pawns is a synonym to win, free win, because they just roll in. And that's exactly what I was banking on. Now, the ugly element of the whole business was that because if I have a knight, it's very difficult to run them back, to sacrifice it away for the pawn so that my pawn then can peacefully promote. But here he lost the plot, and yeah, it just worked out that his king was weaker than mine. And yeah, I just went into this, and that was a forced mate. Yep. Alright, so basically what wanted for us was that in this position white got greedy and he wanted to win this, which was an utterly meaningless pawn, whereas it's my already far advanced and then capturing on a2 queenside agenda, that was never gonna be any good. So the correct defense would have been probably checking here and then across. How is that any different, bro? If I go, let's say, check here. I like this idea that I always have the check in. Takes, check here, bishop e6. You're telling me that white is slightly better here. How? Why? I don't believe in this. So what happens if I go here? He'll take, and d5. I don't get this. What happens if I go here? Okay, 7a4. Ah, okay, I'm sitting in this. Right. See, that's again another motive that I brought up earlier on, that I managed to put all my pieces on black. Now look at them, all of them on white. So the bishop is now really having a lot of fun. And yet, I still can't fathom that this is not better for black. So rook here, check. Yeah, I don't like this. I want to make something of my queenside pawns. Apparently I can't. If I push, it takes. No, not even. b7. Okay. Well, it looks like it wasn't even here as clear as I thought, but nonetheless, I think it was quite an instructive struggle. It took me a long time to eventually turn that positional edge that we emerged from the opening with into something tangible, and yeah, it was a close one. It was a close one. 4 inaccuracies. I mean, I can live with that. That's not too bad. It's not too bad. Alrighty, folks, that's gonna be it for us for today, and I'm hoping to be back with more soon. Thank you. Bye.